Have you lost your job? Have you lost a loved one? Are you exhausted caring for your parents, for your kids? Well, you can find immediate relief when you read Sheila Mack's new #1 bestseller, Bootstraps and Bra Straps. It contains the Boots formula to move from rock bottom back into action in any situation, especially right now. If life has knocked you down, pick yourself up with Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Get your copy at www.sheilamack.com today.
Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio.
Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack. And today we have special guest, Mr. Awesome himself, ERIK SWANSON. ERIK is an award-winning international keynote speaker, a #1 best-selling author in 5 different categories of success, and a habits and behavioral coach. ERIK SWANSON is a great demand around the world, speaking on average to more than 1 million people per year, and honored to be invited to speak to business and entrepreneurial schools such as Harvard, as well as the TED Talk family. His latest TEDx speech was called A Dose of Awesome. ERIK is both versatile in his approach and effective in a wide array of training topics. You can easily find ERIK sharing stages with some of the most talented and famous speakers in the world, such as Brian Tracy, NASA performance coach, Dr. Dennis Waitley from the book and movie The Secret, Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, John Asraf, millionaire maker Laurel Leckenmer, co-author of Rich Dad and Poor Dad Sharon Lechter, and legendary motivator Les Brown, among many others. All right, welcome to the show, ERIK.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, so good to have you on here.
Sheila Mack, ladies and gentlemen, Sheila Mack.
Yes, and
by the way, I put all my words are in pink today. I'm not sure why, but I just decided that was a cool color.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Yes, I am doing well, and welcome to the show. Now, this show actually came about with my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. And this last year, we have experienced every situation imaginable and then some. So I like to start off by asking you if you could share with the audience a time in your business or personal life where you experienced a tough situation and how you got back on track.
Great question. You know, it reminds me, so pardon me, there's a bunch of my friends are in the military, and it reminds me they have this, they're called morale patches. And the morale patches are these like Velcro patches you can put on different things. You can put them on your backpacks and so forth, right? And one of the patches says, "But did you die?" Which is kind of interesting. But did you die, right? You can ask yourself that about everything. Like, oh my God, I was so scared about doing that. Yeah, but did you die? No, I didn't actually. Good point, right? So you can ask yourself, well, what are you afraid of? What are you scared of? We're all going to have these setbacks. So to answer your question, you know, there's, oh my gosh, I should have like a big bowl right here and just pick all the times that I've had that are like, you know, some people call them failure times. I call them lesson times, you know, and that you learned a lesson from. Way back when I decided it was a great idea to branch off from one of my mentors. One of his books is up here somewhere, I'm sure, Brian Tracy. And I branched off with him and I said, Brian, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be a great speaker like you. And I'm going to build this business. He's like, go ahead, sir. Go, you know, you should do it. And he was really supportive. But that was, let's see, that was August 11th, 2001. August 8th, 2001. And we know September 11th, right, the next month hit 2001. And I mean, I had to regroup. I had to say to myself, okay, sometimes we need to, I have actually a little sign that I keep. I keep all these little signs here in front of me. And one of them says, and let's see if I can find it that quickly. One of them says something about rest and reset, right? And this one says stress and rest equals growth, right? We're all going to have stress. We're all going to have, but not many of us take that rest time and then have the growth time. So what I did back then in 2001 is I regrouped. I said, okay, you know, the world's in a very interesting place right now where it's unknown what's going to happen. And I just need to be the best version of me that I can be, because that's what people need today. And that's what I did. And we grew back then. It was the Universal Seminars and Habitude Warrior. And, you know, now we're sitting with those conferences, having a 2-year waiting list to get on our stages, and 33 top speakers that travel around with us. And then, of course, a pandemic hit, you know, 20 years later. And now we're sitting here with roughly 20 years later with a pandemic upon us. And, you know, that's a whole nother story. You know, I was talking to my friend, you'd mentioned her name, Laurel Langemeyer. She's from Secret. I was just talking to her about an hour ago. And we were chatting about the fact that, you know, who are you? Meaning, who are you listening here or watching this, you know, or listening if you're on the radio? Who are you? Are you the type of person that's going to sit back and say, okay, I'm going to close down the shades and I'm just going to like break down? Or are you the type of person that's going to show up no matter what? And Laurel and I were talking about the fact that we show up no matter what's happening. You'll never hear Laurel or myself complain publicly about anything. Like, yes, we will, not complain, but get it off our chest sometimes with people who can help you with the solution, of course. But it's amazing how many people allow themselves to rent space from other people and keep that in their mind. So you got to be cautious there. Anyway, hopefully that sort of answers a little bit of your question.
Yes, that was quite a journey. There must have been so many lessons along the way from starting out on your own until now. And it's all a learning. And every day I believe that people show up in perfect time. So you're on this show in perfect time, and people listening in need to hear your message. So I appreciate you being on the show. And I'd like to hear more about some of your books that maybe your most recent ones to start with.
Yeah, sure. So I have 5 that I've written myself, and the first one was it's back there somewhere on that side, I think, and it's called Secret Habitudes, and it's all about your habits and your attitude. Pardon me. It took me let me see how long it took me to write that book. 17 years, okay, because I got in my own way. And then the next book was, I believe, my Time Habitude book, Time Management, and that took me about 1.5 years to write. And then my next book was took me 1 year. I think that was Sales Habitudes. And it's all about sales, right? And building that social, instead of sales, it's really social attitudes, right? To build the social climate to make it really easy to benefit from having other people benefit from your services that you have. And then that was the third book. Fourth book is called, which I don't know if I can see it. If I can pick it out by looking at the mirror image here, it's back here somewhere. It's called Social Millions. And it's people were asking me, they said this first. They go, Erik, you're everywhere. Like, Sheila, you said this to me one time. I remember sitting, I don't know if it was Chicago or Vegas or whatever city we were in. And I remember we all hung out at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Somewhere, right? And it was it was sort of near the hotel. I just remember that. I don't remember which city, but I remember that very, very specifically. And I remember all of us sitting at a high top table and just communicating and connecting. And I remember you telling me, you're like, Erik, you're everywhere. I need to sit next to you. Let's chat. I'm like, cool. So a lot of people started saying that to me, and a lot of people said that to me. And then the next question they asked me is, how do you do it? How are you everywhere? And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll write a book about it. So I wrote Social Millions. And it teaches you, and it taught me, how to be everywhere in the right spots, the right places that you want to be, and connect to the right individuals that you want to connect with. So I started doing that, and that's my fourth book. And then the fifth one is really cool. Check this out. It's called Crush and Dominate, 13 Strategies to Piss Off Your Competitors. All right. So there it is. And this is interesting. I was just in one of my masterminds this morning. I run masterminds virtually, of course. And I was just talking about the fact that, do you allow other people to be those naysayers, and do you allow that to seep into your mindset? And I was talking to my mastermind members about it. And I said, I grabbed this book right off the shelf. I said, I wrote about that in the beginning of this book. And I'll read it to you right now. It's just the preface. What I did was I went ahead and acknowledged some people. And here it sounds like this. It's great. This book, this one right here, this book is dedicated to all the people who I have come across in my life who did not believe in me, who said I couldn't do it. To those who didn't have faith in me or lend me the support when I asked them for it or even begged them for it. I said it may sound ruthless, but I thank you, and I want to share this with you, and thank you for showing your true colors and allowing me to pass with flying colors past you. And I put thank you, see ya. That's what I did. So it's right there. If you pick up this book, you'll find it right in the beginning. But it's so important to be able to thank yourself and to thank the people who don't support you, because they're allowing you to go to the next level. In fact, I wrote another thing down. See, I'm always taking notes, right? Another thing I wrote down to myself, which is under here. That's right. I just put it over here. It is. Give me a second, and I'm gonna find it. There it is.
Well, while you're looking,
check it out.
Just what you just said. Oh, that's beautiful.
This says people are in such hurry. Have you noticed people are in hurry these days? Yes. People are in such hurry to get to where we are at. They're just jealous. People are jealous. They're just giving you crap because they want to be you. So grab that mindset and say to yourself, I'm going to help you. Bring, come with me, and I'll share it with you. Go ahead. Sorry, I'll pass it back to you.
Oh, yes. And so what you were saying about those people, the naysayers, those that kind of kick sand on you while you're working and trying to build your foundation and get started on your dream or vision or guidance to what you're really guided to do on this planet, you're going to get so much pushback. And those people, really, the ones with these hardened hearts that do things that are not very nice sometimes, those are the ones that actually were guided to you to help you be strong and get to that next level. They're actually the biggest gift. And so that's something to have appreciation for those people along the way and be able to say, thank you so much, and move on and just keep doing you.
That's right. Be the best you that you could be, which brings me to a question. I always have things written down, and I've got a note written down here. Can you write down 10 things that you can change today to be a better you tomorrow? What are those 10 things? And start working on it.
Yes. And
also, here's another cool idea. Check this out. I'll share this with you guys. Boom. It's thank you cards. Now, you may think, Eric, I know about thank you cards, right? You write a handwritten thank you card to an individual and you send it to them, right? Isn't that right? Everyone knows that. But have you done my technique? My Habitude Warrior technique is every day I grab this, towards the night I do this, and I open it up and I write a thank you to myself. And then I take it and I put it somewhere, like in the kitchen or, near the coffee maker or whatever. I don't drink coffee, but near somewhere. So I'll find it the next morning, and it's a surprise thank you from me to me. It's a cool idea.
That's something we've lost touch of. Is a lot of times I think society tries to teach young children at a very young age, really not to do that, to kind of just sit there, raise your hand, and wait to be spoken to and take care of everybody else. But there's so much, like, they're looking for the grades. You're already getting graded. And I mean, kindergartners are getting grades that it's going to determine if they go to a school or not later on in life. That's ridiculous. And so we tend to be harder on ourselves sometimes than anyone else. So to start with, when we start believing in our dreams and our missions, we're able to actually get there faster and then help other people and support them along their journey as well. Makes a
Absolutely.
big difference. I love that. And I'd love to hear, Erik, about your sales book and the sales tip one. In that, do you have some tips to share from that book for those people that are selling something to someone out there?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So I'll give you a few examples of some of the chapters in there. I mean, I'll give you some tips. So number one, stop selling. That's number one. Okay. So the sales book that I wrote is all about selling, but not selling. Don't sell yourself. Serve others. Once you're serving others, then the sales come into play in a major way. That's number one. Number two is be yourself. Completely be yourself. Because here's the scoop. With 8 billion people on the planet, or whatever the number is now, it's interesting how a lot of us, we put ourselves in this graph, in this pie, and we say, well, if I'm not, I need to be a certain type of person to attract that person. Well, why don't you just be yourself, your type of person, so you can maybe not attract that person, but attract like everyone go like this for me, with me right now, Sheila. Go ahead, do this. Okay. Now just keep it like that. Keep it like that. And then swivel your chair, just swivel your body. Why don't you go and grab these people instead of those people? Okay. That's it. That's all you have to do. Like, think about it. The income, the purchaser, the green money or the Bitcoin or the whatever you're going to charge them, I don't care if it comes from this group or that group. Why don't you have it come from the group over here that not only gives you awesome income, but they also give you awesome praise for helping them change their lives instead of the complainers over here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And while you were saying that, it just made me think of relationships. And it's the same for relationships. People are looking for, okay, they go on a date and they're pretending to be something they're not, to meet that other person's, what they think that other person wants.
Right.
And who can be in a pretend relationship where you have to fake who you are for a long period of time? That's not going to work out. But if you're just a beautiful, authentic you, you'll attract all the people and places that are aligned. And
this is the commercial break time. Ready?
Yes.
Here's the sales Habitude book that we're talking about. But I totally agree with you. Just be you. Be you. There's a good buddy of mine. His name's Doug Grady. Pardon me. He took a study years ago, and he found out that people were writing down certain goals that they had when do you write down your goals? Usually at the beginning of the year. That's the resolution, right? And then by Super Bowl, you forget what they were. So he said there was a study that came out that had 10 of the most common goals that people wanted to change in their lives or accomplish in their lives over the next year, because it was the New Year's resolution. What do you think a few of them were? What's that game on TV where Family Feud or something, right? So the question is, all right, what's the top 10 answers that someone says what they want to change in their life for the next year for the resolution? What do you think a few of them are? Go ahead, Sheila.
Get into shape, find a new relationship, make more money in business, buy a new house. And they forget usually it's family and friends and all that good stuff. But
What about stop smoking? That's another one.
Yes.
All right. Join a gym was another one, get in better shape. Some people say lose weight, and then some people say join a gym. Let's see, be a better communicator with their family and so forth. Spend more time with the family. Number 10 on the bottom of this list, number 10 that made the top 10 was be a better person.
Wow.
Be a better you. And Doug and I were thinking, if you just take number 10 and do that, wouldn't all the rest of the first 9 come into play? Easily? Right?
Oh my gosh, that's so true. In fact, the Be in My Boots formula throughout my book is being. It's about who you're being and all you're doing and how you show up. So no matter what's going on, you get to choose who you're being. And that's the most important part. People feel that energy. So definitely, I love it. Just move that around and put 10 as number 1.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. And so let's see. So that was a couple of the books. Now there were more. Warrior, something about the warrior.
Time.
Okay. Time. Oh, tell me about the time.
So I I wrote this book. They're all the Habitude Warrior series, right? Habits and Attitude. But the time management one, this one is written this way, where I figure you need a to-do list and then you need a not to-do list, right? How many of you would benefit from not doing certain things every day, and it'll give you more time back? So what I did was I wrote this book as a flip book, where it reads, half of the book reads this way, so 10 chapters this way, and you flip it the other way, it reads a not to-do list this way. It's kind of cool, right? But some of them are, I always love asking this question: how do children spell love? And they spell it 4 letters, T-I-M-E. They spell it time, right? So if your children spell it that way, then all of us should spell it that way. We spend a lot of time. We waste time, and what I do is I'm so productive that I have techniques that help me be more productive. I'll give you an example. This is a super simple example, but I guarantee you 99% of your listeners or your viewers do not do this. Here's one example. Take a look at this laptop that I have right here. This is a laptop. It's a 13-inch MacBook Souped Up Pro. It's amazing. And guess what I'm on right now? The same thing right there. Yep. Like, I have 2 of the same exact thing. Do you do the same thing? I hope you do.
Watch out. Wait, I've got this one, and hold on.
Wait.
Hold on a minute. I've got this one.
Perfect. Exactly right. Exactly. So I literally do. So you and I are not the norm, right? We are above the norm, and we have the same thing. What I'm suggesting is, why not have 2? I have one that I bring with me at all times in the car and so forth in different places. And then I have one right here, all set up and ready to go. But what's cool is with let's say with the iCloud or whichever system you're going to use, everything coincides, everything connects. So if I want to send myself a message here, I can see it here and share it with you there, right? So think of these different things that'll save time. I do the same thing. Like, literally, I have 2 laptops, I have 2 cars, I have 2 motorcycles. I actually do. I have 2 of everything. Okay, save time because it really helps you, right? That's one little tip on time management. Right?
Yes, I love that. I'm living that too, because I have to, in order to have time for those that matter most to me in my life, including my self-care. I need to have these things, and it is worth it.
Ask me what this is. Ask me what this is.
What is it?
This is a time management tool that I just got about 6 months ago, probably. It's amazing. I should sell these, but I don't. It's called the Remarkable 2, and it is amazing. I'll open it up. Check this out. This is just a little notebook. Bam. It's this thin. Okay. It's really
very thin.
A little notebook. And it just comes in a little notebook. They're a little expensive. They're probably $500 or something like that. But it's really cool because it's just this little screen. And what's neat about it is once I turn it on, there's only one button. It's right there. And here's your pencil. Bam.
Yes.
Your pencil. And it's very different than the iPads or anything. This is actually very. You can write on it. Like, if I put the word Sheila, I could actually write on it.
I see that. That's great.
Just like a pencil, and it actually acts like a pencil, and you can erase it. It's amazing. Now, the reason why I bring this up as a time management tool is I have pages upon pages here of all these different notes that I have, and I can email these notes to different people. So you can have up to, I think, 5,000 notes on this notepad right here. I mean, pages, excuse me. It's just little things like that really help.
Oh, I might have to go get one. Right.
Remarkable too.
I actually write on, now my notebook is a little different, and I have it right by my side too. And it's just this for now, but sure. It would be nice to be able to just transfer and send notes to people. So I'm definitely, see, and I'm Sheila Mac. So obviously with all the Macs, once you go Mac, you never go back. And I definitely have funded Mac in one way or another, Apple.
Yep. I have the same exact notepads, notebooks, and they're 99 cents at the whatever drugstore or something. You can fit up to, I think, 3,000 of these in this thing.
Oh, that's
you just bring it with you. And the life of the battery on this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. That's definitely needed. And things that save time. How do you feel about this time this last year with our universal pause pandemic? Did time shift at all for you, or did you notice things slowing down and speeding up a little bit with our time?
Interesting question. So, not wishing a pandemic on any world ever. I have been more busier now than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just been amazing. But I also condense so I have something called double double. That's one of my techniques in one of my books here. It's in this book, Crush and Dominate. And double double, I doubled my time. I doubled my income from year to year, and I doubled the time off that I do it in. So this pandemic was just something I was working on anyway in regard to time management. Is I want to get more production in less amount of time. So I have this little phrase that I say to myself, which is kind of funny, and I think it's funny. My team thinks it's funny. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'll meet you tomorrow morning." I go, "Great." I wake up at the crack of 10. That's what I say all the time. So I'm like, why do I have to get up at 6 or 7 anymore? I just wake up at 10, walk the dogs, hang out, get on this for an hour, and I'm done. I mean, this is literally what I do now, and we have more production with lots of masterminds everywhere because we can connect a lot quicker. There's no more drive time anymore.
Exactly.
Some people make it late. Some people get to not a lot, but sometimes they get to my masterminds and they're late getting on the internet. I'm like, what happened? Was there like internet traffic?
Yes, it is so interesting, and we are blessed in this time. I know for my family and I, it was a tough time at first because I had lost my youngest son, and he had a heart condition since 5th grade. So it was something we were always concerned. And so when we lost him, we needed this time. My daughter moved back home because the university closed. And so she said, "Well, Mom, if ever we needed a universal pause, it was this year." And we took a lot of time. I didn't even have my book released until after, I think it was August instead of January because of the situation. And it was such a gift to have that time with family to kind of heal and have these long discussions that we needed to have. And that's so important. And yet, believe it or not, I have had so many beautiful things happen in work, even though I took all that time off.
Yeah.
So, and I thought at first, oh my gosh, I have no choice. I need to be with my family and just get myself together now. Any mom understand. And then with that, it's also, but everything shows up in perfect time as long as you keep doing the work. So some days it might be a little thing that you do, and other days it's a lot, and it all adds up when you know the direction that you're going toward. Yep. That makes all the difference. Yes.
I love what you just said, and prayers to you and your family. I love what you just said about, it all adds up. I was speaking to, don't tell him I said this, but I have these things called the what the heck calls. Okay. So every day I do a what the heck call. I do about 3 of them, and I just pick up my phone and I say, what the heck, I'll call this person. I'll call that person. I'll call, just to check in, right? It's called the what the heck calls. And I called my buddy, Don. Don runs something called the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He's the president over there, and she's a great friend of ours. And I was talking to him just 2 hours ago, and we were chatting about doing the right thing and helping people and serving. And he said, Erik, and he's a great storyteller, so he tells a lot of stories. We just designed something called Dine with Don. And so stay tuned on that. It's really cool. It's a monthly sort of a masterclass with Don, and you just get to hang out with us on this phone call and listen to these stories. It's so cool. And it's Dine with Don. It's once a month. It's going to be really cool. So he was telling me about this story about a banker and one of his his managers at this bank. And then that manager ended up opening up this company and became a multi-billionaire. And he told Don once, he said, Don, if you help somebody for a day, that's good. That's nice. If you help somebody for a week or a few people for a week, that's great. That's nice. But if you help somebody for a lifetime, if you actually make it a lifetime habit, or what we call habitudes, then you'll change not only their lives, but yours as well.
So true. That's beautiful. And it makes all the difference when you're able to go in contribution. You're out of your head and into your heart, as Robbins always says. And so that does help. That's one of the things when Tony has his breakthrough, he has a whole breakthrough series that he teaches for people that are learning his strategic intervention program. And when he teaches this in the videos, he's always working with people that have had the toughest situations, and they've had to overcome these situations. And the first assignment is to go help someone outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's so healing, and it just makes all the difference. And if you're a parent listening in, if an employer, a leader in your business, it's your leadership or your parenting. When you model that, everyone else, either at home or in the workplace, is going to follow suit and start doing the same thing. So it's not what we say as much as the habits we create. And here I have Mr. Awesome sharing about habits and the Habitude Warrior. So
may I share one other habit that I do that's similar to what Tony does? Do you mind if I share it? So real quick, what I do is if I have to force myself to go to, let's say, a fast food drive-through, because typically I'm trying not to do that because of health reasons, but if I have to, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll order one for me and two for homeless. And you just get the same exact thing, just get 3 of them. So if I'm going to get whatever the meal is, I need to get 3 of them. And then I have 2 extra bags, and I find somebody right away to give it out. It's just little things to train yourself.
So helpful. So helpful. And yes. So now what other programs and events are coming up for you? What are you doing next?
Yeah, so what we did with this worldwide pandemic situation, we went ahead and switched everything to online. So right now we have amazing masterminds, and they're called the Habitude Warrior Mastermind. And then we also have the Global Speakers Mastermind. So everything's online right now. So at this point, when we go out there to do live events, it's because we really want to go to that city and hang out and bring 25 speakers. So we're not forcing ourselves to do it. We are wanting to do it. And those events are the ones that you're talking about, like these guys right here. Let's see if I can pull this down. It's the Habitude Warrior conferences, where we have 33 top speakers that come to our events, and those are great, and they're amazing. They're 2-day long events, and it's amazing to go to. But really, what we're finding is these masterminds are changing people's lives. So masterminds are what we're doing.
That's great. And we are coming to the end of our time, so I'd love for you to share.
Forever? Or just on this show?
Just for this show. Yes, and you're always welcome back as a special guest. I know you're writing so many books and doing so many incredible things, so you always have good things to share. So could you let people know how to reach you, how to sign up for your programs and get your books?
Yeah, easy. Just go to decidetobeawesome.com. That's easy. It's super easy. decidetobeawesome.com. There's a bunch of different links in there. Join us. You can get a couple free books there. You could join one of our masterminds if you'd like. We'll give you a I know Sheila Mac discount. And there's some really cool things in there. But yeah, that's the easiest way. decidetobeawesome.com.
Wonderful. And one more question, my closing question that I always ask is, can you share what advice you would give your younger self, let's say, before you graduated high school? What advice would you give yourself?
Oh, it's easy. The advice, I do this all the time. My advice to my younger self is, dude, keep doing what you're going to do. Don't change anything. You're awesome. Trust me.
I love it. I love it.
Advice to myself.
Yes. So parents, go tell your children this today. And even though we're starting now is the time. There's no time like today to get started creating new habits. So thank you again, Erik, for being a guest on the show. All right. And for those listening in, stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages. All right. If you are just tuning in, this is NBC Sheila Mac Show right here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and I have another free gift for you. It is a guest pass to the Quantum Miracles Mastery docu-series called Heal. Now, you know this topic is right up my alley. We've been on a miraculous journey for more than a year, Come see for yourself what happens when you bring together more than 30 of the world's leading healers, experts, scientists, and doctors today, including myself, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., Bruce Lipton, and Jack Canfield, to share our most powerful techniques and rituals. This event starts on May 26th, so join us for the second annual complimentary week-long docuseries Quantum Miracles Mastery: How to Create Miracles Today so that you can heal anything. I have teamed up with my colleagues, Melissa Binkley, to give you my favorite techniques to help you create your best life. So step into your true self and have everything you want. Join this Quantum Miracles Mastery series today. And now, if you are watching this on TV, you see that there is a link that shows you where to go. So you can go to https://z as in zipper, c as in cat, 273.isrefer.com/go/quantum miracles/Sheila Mac. And this will also be available in the notes on my YouTube channel, Sheila Mac Show, so you can look for it there as well. And I hope to see you all at the Quantum Miracle Mastery docu-series as my free guests. Chapter 10: Self-Care and Spirituality. Lisa's husband passed away. As a couple, they had recently agreed that they were going to sell their house and move to a retirement community, and now she had to do that alone. Between the loss of her husband and the home her son had grown up in, Lisa was hit with a double whammy of grief. As anyone who has lost someone knows, grief causes stress levels to rise exponentially. On top of that, selling a house and moving, even when it's a planned, happier move, is also stressful and can be unsettling. You lose things, objects get broken, and you have to readjust to a new place. Lisa wasn't just moving away from the house where she'd raised her son. She was also leaving the neighborhood she'd lived in for 45 years, where her friends lived, and where she volunteered in the community. She felt she was losing everything in her life at once. Lisa and I started talking because she needed some support through all these decisions and upheaval. She was even overwhelmed with things she was usually quite good at, her paperwork and taxes, because of all the changes she was going through at once. As we talked, she told me how she took care of her husband, her son, and her community. But she had never taken time for herself, and now she was faced with too much time. I gave her the challenge of doing one thing for herself every day, as if she was doing it for her husband or close friend. If someone showed up on her doorstep in pain, stressed out, or going through something, Lisa would drop everything to help that person. Now, though, that person would be her. She was going to give herself as much attention, honor, and love as she gave to so many other people. And I asked her to send me pictures of her doing these things, so she would be held accountable. At first she was like, "Are you crazy?" I promised her it would help, even though she thought it would be dumb. For me, I told her, do it for me if you're not going to do it for yourself. The first day, Lisa sent me a picture of herself getting her nails done with the text, "I haven't had my nails done in months, not since before Dave got sick. It felt so good, and you were right. I kind of needed that break." "Great," I replied. "What are you doing tomorrow?" From survival mode to self-care. When we hit rock bottom situations in life, it tends to send us into survival mode. And when we're in that place, we're so busy making ends meet, struggling with grief, loss, and pain, and dealing with whatever is going on, that we don't have a choice but to eliminate some of the things we usually do. When we have to go to work, then go visit somebody in the hospital, then pick up your kids, and you still have to make dinner and maintain a certain level of cleanliness in your home, or whatever duties you have to do, taking an hour for yourself to go to the gym or meditate gets pushed aside. It's just today, you tell yourself, but then tomorrow comes and goes, and another day and another. The next thing you know, it's been a month or two, and then you really start to notice the difference. One day, you wake up and you're not who you used to be. When you aren't practicing self-care, it shows up all over. Maybe you're exhausted and not sleeping right. Maybe you're off your healthy diet. Perhaps you've pushed your meditation practice and it's showing up at work or with relationships. You start snapping at people you would never snap at. When you're already at rock bottom with one situation and then you realize how many of your healthy habits went in the fallout, it can be overwhelming. You've hit another rock bottom and you may be looking around and thinking, how do I get from here back to where I was? You start over. One step at a time. Starting over sounds scary, but there is good news. Your muscles have memory. Your body remembers healthy eating, and you can catch up on your sleep, but it's not going to happen in one day. It took you more than one day to reach this rock bottom place. One day of not cleaning up doesn't bring a mess into your life. One day of extra spending doesn't necessarily lead to a negative cash flow situation, so it's going to take a few days or even weeks to get back to where you were. The fastest way to start climbing up from rock bottom is to take small steps and focus on little wins. Do one small chore that's fallen by the wayside, and then one reward to yourself, and do one small act of self-care too. As you do one, the other becomes easier, and you climb back up from your rock bottom. Once you've taken the first step and have that first little win, you can take another. Maybe tomorrow you'll clean one part of your house or deal with one bill that got thrown into a pile. Set a goal or a timer, and once you reach that number or that time, stop and take some time to reward yourself for the progress you've made. Just for tonight, take 5 minutes to meditate. It doesn't have to be the whole hour that you used to do, as long as you're doing something. Maybe you're starting over with your budget, so you can't go get a massage or facial or have a spa day right now. Just for today, try doing your nails at home, or just for this afternoon, take a 10-minute walk. Anything that leaves you thinking, oh, that feels better, after you do it. You can even schedule appointments for time to spoil yourself a little, even if you just mark enough time in your calendar for simple things like lighting a candle and meditating, taking a walk or a nap, or watching a movie, something that's just for you. You'll still have to take the right actions and take care of the things you're required to care for in your life. But you can also honor an appointment with yourself. Welcome to Dear Sheila, answering real questions with real solutions to help reboot your life. How do I set healthy boundaries and say no without the guilt? Dear Sheila, I have been drowning in projects, volunteer work, and extended family daycare. Most of my adult life, I have had this habit of saying yes to things and then regret it. Now I'm overwhelmed, exhausted, and a bit resentful. Along with everything else, I agreed to babysitting my sister's 2 children, and somehow it's morphed into a regular, non-paid job. My question is it even possible to escape the volunteer workload I accidentally agreed to without having everyone be upset with me? Signed, Yes Mom. Dear Yes Mom, this is definitely the year for rebooting and reinventing your life. Remind yourself that each no is there to serve you and the bigger yes that you have for yourself. Let's run this situation through the Boots formula. Throughout life, one can find themselves facing a difficult situation that often catches them by surprise. Over the years, I saw the patterns in all the times I've had to reboot and in how I've helped my friends and clients get through a hard time and quickly back into action. Ultimately, I came up with the Boots formula. The B in Boots is for being. It is about who you are being in all that you're doing and who you need to be during this situation. Be aware of your feelings and think about people in your life that easily say no to things that do not serve them. Decide who you must be to lovingly and smilingly say no while moving toward your big yes. The first O in the Boots formula is for orientation. In order to get the outcomes you desire, you must be honest. Check in with any activity that is causing overwhelm. Write out your perfect day or week and see what you put on that list of things that you want to do. And then remember that that perfect day is a reminder of your big yes. The next O in the Boots formula is for order of operations. Now that you know who you need to be and your orientation, you can decide in which order you must take action. This may be sitting down and writing out a message or calling to say that at this time you must step down from certain positions. It is also having to talk with your sister about what days and times that you will be available for babysitting and when you will not, without an excuse or an apology. The T in the Boots formula is for thinking. This is where your mindset comes in. Stop waiting for that perfect time to stop doing anything that truly does not serve you. This week, be aware of each time you are compelled to say yes. Either say no, or just for this week, say, I'll meditate on this, or I'll pray over it, or I'll review my schedule first and get back to you. This will buy you that thinking time you need to remind yourself of your bigger yes. The S in the Boots formula is for stepping up. This is the part that puts all the other pieces you have planned into place and helps you now reinvent your life on your terms. The time is now for us to collectively work together to rebuild this year. My hope is that this video series and my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, helps. In my book and on my website, I provide plenty of free resources for anyone dealing with a rock-bottom situation to help reinvent and reboot their business and personal life. If you have a question for Dear Sheila, message me at www.sheilamac.com. Welcome to Dear Sheila, answering real questions with real solutions to help reboot your life. What to do about the mental health crisis facing parents and small business owners as our world reopens. Dear Sheila, I'm a parent and small business owner, and I admit I'm concerned about stepping back into full-time operations as my city starts to reopen. The other day, my close friend, who also runs a business, called me in tears as she found out one of her employees had attempted to take his own life due to all the isolation this year. As a small business owner and leader of my home, how do I help my family and check in on my employees while rebuilding and reinventing my entire business? I also struggle with my own mixed emotions as I prepare to reopen. How can I stay on track and mentally strong during these times? Signed, Boss Mom. Dear Boss Mom, this is definitely the year for rebooting and reinventing how we all run our businesses and homes. Allow time to possibly have a soft or slower reopening while taking good care of you. As the leader, how you show up each day is going to set the pace and emotional state of how your employees, clients, and family show up. It is more about how you choose to be and all that you are doing that will make all the difference. In the Boots formula I created, there are some steps that can help. The B in Boots is for being. It's about who you are being in all you are doing and who you need to be during this situation. You are going to have to show up and be very different than you were before this crisis. The first O in the Boots formula is for orientation. In order to get the outcomes you desire, you must be brutally honest here. I want X and I have zero funds for that project. Your outcomes this year need to be realigned to where you find your new orientation on the map. The next O in the Boots formula is for order of operations. Now that you know who you need to be and where your orientation is on your map, you can decide in which order you must do things for the remainder of this year to achieve realistic outcomes. The order in which you do things is going to really drive your results. The T in the Boots formula is for thinking. This is where mindset and your concern to stay strong and help your family and employees maintain mental health awareness comes in. This year especially, setting healthy boundaries and having the resources available to connect loved ones to the right tools can make all the difference. Remember, you don't have to be all and have all the answers, yet the right resources for your employees and family really helps. The S in the Boots formula is for stepping up. This is the part that takes all of the other pieces you have planned out and puts you and your business back into action. The time is now for us to collectively work together for the hurting among us. My hope is that this video series and my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, helps. In my book and on my website, I do provide plenty of free resources to help anyone dealing with a rock bottom situation reinvent and reboot their business and personal life. If you have a question for Dear Sheila, message me at www.dearsheila.com. If you are just tuning in, this is Sheila Mack, host of NBC's Sheila Mack Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And today I have a special gift for beautiful, authentic you. For a free Boots meditation and mini introduction to the Boots formula course, go to www.sheilamac.com/Boots meditation. That's www.Sheilamac.com/Boots, BOOTS meditation, and enjoy your free gift, which is a free Boots meditation class, as well as a mini introduction to the Boots formula course. Enjoy. So here it is, my latest book. I have to let you know something, just between you and me. This book is not one size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation.